What's going on, guys? It's Ryan here, and in this video I just wanted to do a quick thoughts on for the DJI Mavic Pro drone. So without further ado, let's get to it. So this is not an endorsement of DJI, but a first thoughts on the Mavic Pro. So enjoy. At first glance, the DJI Mavic Pro looks like a bug, but once holding it in hand, it feels like it's something made from airplane material technology of some sort. Honestly, I think the Mavic will sell a lot because it is super portable, being that it can be folded, and from what has already been seen online from other videos, the Mavic can fight winds pretty much just as good as the Phantom 4. One of the questions that would be interesting to look at would be to see if the Mavic has waypoints function. I think it does. Portability is the selling point of this drone, of course. Along with it comes several features that are new. For example, gesture control, where you can just make a frame, picture frame, and then function, and then the drone knows how to take that picture within 3 seconds after you make that gesture. Another one would be tripod mode, where the drone actually moves very steadily, very slowly, so you can get a steady, I guess, fragile shot. The DJI Mavic seems to be almost just as good as the Phantom 4's footage. However, the Mavic, if zoomed in up to maybe 200% on the footage, there would be a slight wobble that is noticeable, which isn't a huge problem for those who aren't looking to get the absolutely perfect kind of quality footage. Upon more videos online, it seems the Phantom 4's footage makes the recordings almost too crisp, to the point where things look a bit unreal. But if you're looking for the Phantom 4, you can definitely get the Phantom 4, or if you already have it, then that's great. A quick size comparison between the Mavic and the Phantom 3 drone, which is almost similar size to the Phantom 4, can be seen in this video as well. The wingspan is about the same. However, the Mavic is less than half the height of the Phantom 3 because its camera is tucked in the front of the aircraft rather than dangling underneath it. And it doesn't require the legs to create a protective cage of the camera, whereas it is the case for the Phantom 3 and the Phantom 4. One of the concerns that I have with the Mavic Pro is the hinges, and I wonder if the hinges would eventually wear off with the folding and unfolding and folding again. This needs to be tested through actual use of the drone over possibly an extended period of time. Now, DJI responds that the hinges should last at least 5,000 folds, and it's not likely to wear out in the Mavic's lifetime. This lifetime of the Mavic could be a very long time, or it might not be. This is not certain. But based on my own experience of holding onto the Mavic and unfolding and folding it back again, the drone feels like it's pretty sturdy, pretty strong, and good material, that if it's taken good care of, then it should last quite a bit. The battery is also was easy to remove from the drone, and at $90 US on the DJI website, it seems to be somewhat affordable. That is, the batteries alone. But of course, no one would just buy the battery and not buy the drone, which obviously that doesn't make sense. The remote controller is also affordable, which makes this very interesting as well. I guess it fits to have a foldable drone and a foldable controller. That way it's double the portability, I guess. So the folded remote controller does make it look like something like a Game Boy. It does not feel like a cheap plastic material. Feels pretty good in hand. The sticks are good. It reminds me of the standards, which is also the same sticks as the Phantom 4, Phantom 3 Pro and Advanced series. Yeah, so it feels pretty good in hand. I was able to fit my Huawei phone 5-inch screen with the 5-inch screen display with the controller, and it seemed to fit pretty good. The antennas on the controller look like a miniaturized version of the ones on the Phantom 4 or the Phantom 3 Advanced Pro models. They tuck in nicely under each other, which is a good design and good thought by DJI there. Another point I wanted to bring out was when I was trying to remove the protective bubble on the Mavic that protects the gimbal, it seemed to be hard to remove, and the plastic bubble actually snapped off and chipped off when I was trying to remove it. I think I may have broke it, and this was on the demo version that was displayed at Toronto's Profusion Image Photography Expo. If you're watching this and you were one of the DJI reps at Profusion watching this video, I'm sorry for breaking the plastic covering. I didn't mean to. So, just something to keep in mind is that while removing the plastic bubble on your own Mavic, it just might snap off by accident, just as I did at the expo, and then that means you would no longer have a plastic bubble to protect it while you're transporting your drone. But that might not be an issue, because if you record with it, you wouldn't really record it with the bubble. You can, however, record with the bubble, but it's recommended to just take the bubble off altogether. But it's just the bubble is for transportation and to protect the gimbal when it's in your bag or pouch.
Actually really quiet.
The Mavic seemed to hold this position quite well while it was in flight. So what was interesting was I was able to see it in flight, and that was a plus for me. Being able to see it in person was pretty cool. It seemed to hold this position quite well for indoor settings, and this, I was able to see firsthand. In terms of the noise the drone makes, think of it like a small vacuum cleaner. It can still be heard, but it is clearly much more soft sounding than a Phantom 3 or a Phantom 4 when in flight.
$13.49 is not bad.
So right now is the Mavic. The Mavic is on pre-order on a first-come first-served basis, estimated to ship out and arrive at people's doors by the end of October, or maybe even into November even. Would I personally get the Mavic? Yes, I am definitely considering this drone to add to my collection and use it. I personally would order the $1,000 Mavic, US dollar Mavic, with the remote controller and add on an extra battery. And I think that would be enough for my own use. I'm also trying not to shell out unnecessary amount of money on some items that I might not need. For example, the car charger. I don't have a car of my own, and I probably won't be charging my batteries on the go, but that might be something that other users are looking forward to have a car charger. Now having two batteries for myself would be enough. That would almost be equal to 1 hour of flight, and especially if you plan your shots, that is more than enough. Also, its portability makes it much easier to bring around to places and sending it up into the sky to get that shot. For me, personally, I'm still waiting to see if there might be future promotions by DJI for the Mavic before I make a purchase. This also gives time for those first buyers to test out and see if there might be any bugs that might still need to be ironed out for it. I wish DJI released their Mavic last year, but it is what it is, and of course technology will constantly change and try to improve. I also think that DJI will release an updated version of the Mavic in the coming year, perhaps with waterproof materials. I definitely look forward to getting this drone in my own hands, and then maybe I can post an actual review in the future. Another thing I would also add is wanting to talk about the active track on the Mavic, which is different from the Phantom 4. if the active track on the Mavic loses track of the subject, and then the subject comes back into view, the Mavic doesn't ask if that subject was what you were supposed to be recording or tracking. It just automatically tracks, compared to the Phantom 4, where the Phantom 4 actually asks you, oh, is this what I was tracking before? So that's a little bit different, and I guess it's good that it can automatically track. Now another thing to test would be to see if the active track would just track any person. That would be something interesting as well. What do you guys think of the Mavic Pro? Would you get it? What would you want to see for future versions of these foldable, portable drones? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.